What's up, guys? Welcome back to Engine 25's YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. My name is Brandon, and today I'm talking about The Lost World Jurassic Park. This is, of course, the sequel to Jurassic Park, and if you watched the first video on this article, you know how much I love that movie. This movie, it's not as good as the first one, and it hasn't aged as well as the first one, but I've always loved this movie. I went to see this one with my older brother. Went to see the next one with my older brother too, actually. But the weekend it came out, I think it was Memorial Day weekend, 1997, if memory serves. And it's always been a good time to go back and revisit The Lost World. Because this is still a really fantastic dinosaur movie. Other flaws aside, and we'll definitely get to some weaknesses this movie has, but just like the first movie, the creatures feel alive. The animatronics and the CGI mixes incredibly well. The cameras put in places that allows the CGI to thrive and seamlessly get intermixed with with animatronic dinosaurs. So we feel like they're there, we can touch them, they behave naturally, and it's really something that other movies haven't really matched since this one and the first one. That The Lost World absolutely gets the animals right. From the compies, who are these tiny little things, they're this tall, and they're adorable, but they're lethal in a swarm, as we see with poor old Dieter, and to a majestic scene with stegosauruses that ends in a harrowing attempt against Sarah Harding. The T-Rexes are back, and there's two of them this time. This shots with two T-Rexes, especially when they pull poor Eddie out of the car, are fantastic. And there's that absolutely fantastic scene where the velociraptors are hunting the band of poachers through the long grass, and the shot where they're all coming down from the top of the screen and they converge on the poachers, and then it doesn't go so well for the poachers, and it's small moments like that are really visually striking, and it's a big reason why this movie still stands out. Just like the first Jurassic Park, they get the dinosaurs right. I would say characters in this movie, they're not as interesting as the first one. Ian Malcolm is back, and he's not a rock star anymore. He's not so eccentric. He's become really cynical because of the terrible things that happened to him and the others at Jurassic Park. But as usual, he's always the naysayer. And honestly, he's kind of the smartest guy in the room, because he's the only one that knows that there's no way this could go well. And Jeff Goldblum portrays Malcolm very, very differently than he did in the first movie. And considering how well they kind of showed an arc for Malcolm, I really wish that other characters were in this movie that were in the first film. We get about 5 minutes with John Hammond, and it's always good to, Richard Attenborough is always welcome in on my TV. It's absolutely the case. But he hasn't learned much. And we get a few seconds with the children from the first movie who've grown up a little bit. Other than that, it's all new characters. And most of them they're effective, but they're all kind of one note. They all have the thing that they do, and they just do that thing. Most of them conventionally do that thing. Arliss Howard plays slimy old Ludlow, And Vince Vaughn is really great. Probably my first exposure, in fact, to Vince Vaughn when I was little. I didn't see like Swingers until high school, and he's also in he's in Be Cool. I like that movie. Came out when I was in high school. But no, yeah. It's I don't know how early in his career it is, but it was definitely my first experience with Vince Vaughn. Um, I really like him in this movie. And honestly, whenever I see him in other stuff, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, he was in The Lost World, haha. Julianne Moore is fine. She's I like her in some of her later work. She's fantastic in Children of Men. She's fine in this movie. It is what it is. Um, but like the first film, The Lost World treats its dinosaurs and its human characters with a great deal of respect. And this is the last time in the franchise that I can say that about both the dinosaurs and the humans. Can't wait to talk about Jurassic Park 3. That one's coming up. But they the humans, they exist for a reason. There isn't really a character that's wasted here. Everybody gets at least a moment. They're very simple, but they're effective and they're fun. We have a lot of poachers that kind of get what's coming to them, and our heroes doing their best to do the right thing, and then it's, for the most part, they're successful. Now, a big point of contention with this movie is when the T-Rex gets taken by the poachers. There's that inexplicable seaborne disaster on the ship. Like, there are any number of things that could have happened, but anything that exists on the internet is just a theory. Hundreds of people have put up videos saying, "Oh, this is what happened," and it's just kind of. Pretty sure we've never seen anything definitive saying these are the events that happened on the ship. So in the meantime, it's just we can kind of guess. Did raptors get on the ship and then jump off in the ocean? Did the T-Rex somehow escape and then get forced back into the cargo hold? Nobody really knows. And then the T-Rex gets set free in San Diego, and we get a really clever, and by that I mean not so clever, reference to old monster movies like Godzilla, and there's a really kind of racist jab at Godzilla in this scene, and then the couple of in-jokes like when the T-Rex eats the guy who tries to get into the video store, and it's actually David Koepp, the writer of the movie. It is what it is. Jurassic Park and the majority of this movie kind of benefit from being set off in a remote place that we can't access, and they kind of hint that InGen has spent $1 bazillion to try to cover up the incident in Jurassic Park. So, with a certain degree of suspension of disbelief, hey, it's obviously absurd. It's science fiction, but this exists in the real world for the purposes of science fiction and for telling its story. Until you take a dinosaur to the mainland, and then it just gets really dumb. But leading up until that point is a really fun adventure movie. Poor old Eddie has a really bad day, but for the most part, we just get to watch a lot of bad people get gored by giant dinosaurs, and that's pretty fun. The scene with the Stegosaurus is still like it's probably the worst looking scene in the movie, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's cute, it's fun, and like I said, I love the scene where all the raptors can be seen inching through the tall grass, converging on the poachers. It does suffer from a little, bigger is better. 2 T-Rexes is obviously better than 1, and so we got to be bigger because we're having a sequel, and bigger's better. But watching the 2 T-Rexes take that car apart, I like it. It is what it is. But no, yeah, I have a soft spot for this movie. It's not as good as the first one, but I really like it. it has some problems. It has a lot more problems than the first Jurassic Park, to be sure. But it's definitely fun to revisit the Lost World now and again. Um, and I guess there it is. Uh, that's in the words of Ian Malcolm, I guess. Um, Now the transfer of the Lost World isn't quite as good the as the transfer for the 4K transfer, excuse me, for Jurassic Park. I'm not certain that this has been scanned in 4K. It might just be a 4K upscale of the HD releases, the Blu-rays. Not certain on that, but it doesn't have the visual pop that the 4K HDR version of the first movie did. Not to say it looks bad, it's overall an improvement over the previous home video releases, and it does come with what I would call the definitive version of Jurassic Park. It comes in the same box, so that's a thing. What it does do very well compared to this version of the first movie. CGI advanced quite a bit from 93 to 97, significantly so, in fact. So it's not quite as distracting when you have CGI dinosaurs unless they are clearly out in the daylight. Like the Stegosaurus scene I keep mentioning, it's always been the weakest looking scene from a CGI point of view in this movie. That doesn't change here, and it kind of sticks out more as the resolution increases. But the scenes at night with the Tyrannosauruses and with the Raptors, they all look fantastic. I would say there are a lot less issues with the CGI dinosaurs in this movie than there were in Jurassic Park for the 4K version. All in all, like I said, it comes in a box set with the definitive version of Jurassic Park. It's a fun movie to revisit now and again. I certainly don't watch it as often as I watched the first movie, but this movie has a soft spot for me, and I really enjoy it. So thanks for watching. This has been part 2 of our series for leading up to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I'm going to do videos for Jurassic Park 3. Watched it last night, and it's going to be fun. And Jurassic World, which in general I really like. So those are still coming. I'm going to get a video of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom up probably early next week. Just so you can hear my thoughts on that. And otherwise, thanks for watching the channel. If you like my videos, like, share, and subscribe. And keep an eye out for more reviews from Engine 25. Thanks, guys.